change of regime means it's a time for us to enjoy and eat for very many people.
Yeah, I think what I would like to point out is that when we talk about structures and institutions, I would like Kenyans to understand that the first institution is you as a citizen. If you institutionalize your mind, create structures, internal structures within yourself, it's very easy to get that what you give. I think that is usually spoken in social spaces. It's easier to get that what you give. That's where we start from. I think we've lauded our constitution as one of the best in the world. As written, if followed from chapter 1 all to the end, we'll have a beyond perfect society. And I think in one of my submissions in the Senate when I was against BBI, I mentioned this. And the likes of Governor Orengo, I told Kenyans that we do not have a constitutional problem. What we have is a leadership problem. We do not have a legal problem. We have an economic problem. And economics, what brings economic development is leadership. Yes, there is politics, but as leaders need to learn when to depart from politics, which is very personalized. That is a fact. And that's why when you talk of people living in fear, people invest in politics. And unfortunately in Kenya, political office, politics has always been seen as an opportunity to give and create jobs for people. And that's why the highest bidder gets the job. That's why the tribally or the politically compliant get the job. We were talking about, Prof eloquently talked about the IBC and the conflict of interest. It's the same thing in politics. When you elect someone because he's tribally or politically or financially compliant, what is his motivation when he goes into office? Of course, he will optimize every other space that can ensure that he gets his proportionate return on his investment. It's a sorry state, but that is what we've bequeathed, because you give, you get what you give. I talked about Kenyans being an institution. We need to change our perspectives on how we elect these people. If Kenyans decide today that William Ruto no longer deserves to be their president, in their millions, William Ruto, the president, Daktari, will not be their president. And that's why the comment there was talking about William Ruto capturing the imagination of the people. It's true. And that's why he was able to defeat the entire incumbency. As opposed to what the Right Honorable is doing, and what I've mentioned, that we need to disconnect electoral injustices and Raila Odinga, so that people don't go to the streets because of Raila Odinga. People need to go to the streets for themselves. That is the perception at the moment. It appears like he's the only one who can call people to the streets. And that's why it's about him. And that's the distortion that comes in. That's why we get, are his calls valid? Yes. Are the concerns real? Yes. Is that the best way? No.
Okay. Kirimwaga, on the very same matter, I'd have loved for us to talk about the likes of Cleophas Malala, but then I think that should be a story for another day, and I should have those ones that support the UDA party as well as those ones that are under ANC. You know, sometimes people are asking me whether the Mulembe nation has successfully been rendered, I don't want to use the term they have said, baseless, useless, or something of that nature.